sorry. Didn't exactly match, but and I can't play the guitar. I just own one, so that's half the battle.
You just have it for show?
Yeah. I had this vision of a like a motivational type of speech thing where I brought a guitar on stage, and I could do an initial strum. That's about it. And it was always like I was always going to go into song, but then I always have a thought. And the entire set was like I never actually played it. So that was my vision.
Oh my goodness. Oh, well, I found some toys. I was showing you. I found some toys. Is it playing through?
I can hear it.
Could sit here and rock on the free. Okay, time to work. Time to work.
That's
Mondays
right.
are not.
Head banging doesn't have the same effect when you have hair like me.
People ask, why do you wear this on top of your head all the time? Besides having like crazy curly hair, I used to laugh and say it was from my corporate days when everyone was like, good Kimmy, good Kimmy.
It's a buffer, right?
It's a bit of my buffer. Yep. Okay. Focus.
Let's get down to business.
Focus. Let's focus. I love this one. This is an incredible piece because, you know, we've been beta testing our program for a long time and it's been around for, this is its second year now. And from that, there was some incredible results. So there was some individuals that did around $40,000 year over year growth, which is nothing to sneeze at. And then the best ones that applied themselves, the average was 180, 190,000. Then there was a couple that did 1.3 or 11.3 and 2.7, but they were anomalies. They did everything. They beyond focused. And it was great to watch. But it was this part of that whole entire program that they found really, really helpful. So the ones that did the worst case scenario, isn't it funny how I'm saying the worst is $40,000 extra a year?
That's the worst years. I'd like that.
That's the worst you can do, right? Well, the worst case scenario was 40,000, and it was because they showed up biweekly. And then the other part was they really took this focus document seriously. And to this day, they still utilize it, which is nice. There's actually even one that still emails it to me every week. I love it. I love it. So we're going to have a bit of a disclaimer. We're going to show a snapshot of the 3 documents that we utilize, just so you can see it. If you want a copy, get a hold of Sean and I, and we'll send it over to you. We're going to show the framework of what it actually means, the pathway where it takes it to. And there's an additional little bonus that we're going to talk about today, just on that part of what are those extra pieces and strategies that you really need to really look at when you are becoming a business owner or an entrepreneur. So you have a good choice. So we need to start doing disclaimers, apparently. So we are now rated for mild humor and language. And apparently we're going to use the C word. And the C word is coaching. We'll say it loudly and we'll say it often. So now you've been warned. Let's get to work.
Watermelon.
Watermelon. I love that whole thought about, you know, if you want to fake the lyrics, what do? You say watermelon. Did you know that?
I did. It's also like elephant shoe.
Elephant.
When you want to do the I love you ones.
Yeah, elephant shoe.
Hey, have you seen the price of watermelons now? It's crazy.
No.
I've seen one. It was $17 for a watermelon.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh my God. The Saskatchewan Rough Riders fans are going to have to look at a different thing to wear on their head. I still don't get why they do that, but okay. Whatever. You go do you. Business owner versus entrepreneur. People ask us all the time, what's the difference? And beyond being focus, being the difference, it's this part and this realization of when a business owner sees something, they just kind of continue on a status quo, right? They've got a plan. They're going to sell it for a margin. They're comfortable, all that kind of stuff. The entrepreneurial mindset, they turn everything into an experience. So that slice of watermelon, it's one of my best examples I think I've come up with. That slice of watermelon now turns into this really beautiful, wonderful, refreshing drink. And they sell it now for $9 instead of $1 a slice. And I think this is such a powerful visual to kind of look at, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? We work with people that have that entrepreneurial mindset. And does it take longer? Are there more pieces to put together? Is there a lot more conversation? Are there a lot more ingredients within that whole entire experience? Yes. But the outcome is worth it. It truly is it. So it's one of my favorite visuals I came up with. High five to me and not to my face. Just good.
Top of your head, maybe. Right?
The top one, yeah. Good, Kimmy. So the snapshot, there's 3 documents that come along with this. So if you'd like a copy, I'm more than happy to send this to you. And it is a curated experience that you need to go through, and it's 1 week builds onto the next. So the one thing that really happens, and when we call self-help books shelf help, is that we try to dive into something and do it all at once, right? Have you ever tried to do that? Like learning how to play the
All
guitar?
the time. Yeah, yeah. And the piano and
And the everything
that's
and
right.
the everything, right? We don't think about that it's this monumental build that you have to do. I almost did one of those fake influencers. I went to go take a sip and I didn't take a sip. You see those influencers that like pretend to take a bite out of a sandwich, and I'm like,
For me, it's the Hallmark movies where they get the coffee cups and there's nothing in it because it's way too light how they hold it.
Yeah, they almost like break a tooth.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Okay. First week, we always talk about yes or no. So we'll go into this deeper. The second week is about making just a switch. And then the other part is the environmental clues. So when you see at that first slide, what I called this was time, place, and space. And so those are really simple things to kind of think about what focus is about. And focus really truly means follow one course until successful. I love that.
Yeah.
So when we were talking last week, we talked about discipline. Everyone's disciplined. It just depends where you have it directed towards, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the part between business owner and entrepreneur, it's the glamour. And I think that's such a weird thing to say out loud, but it's never glamorous, our entrepreneurial life.
No. And what I like about this is, and this is where you see it a lot, is you'll hear of something, and I think any business does this, and even we do this personally, and you go and you acquire that thing, right? We use the book, the course, that idea, and you go through it, and hopefully you make it all the way through, and then you try the thing and you don't immediately get the result that you think the thing was going to give you. And that's just because you haven't trained yourself enough to use it, right? And then you're like, well, this doesn't work, and you go on to the next thing, right? And that's right, or you don't ever see it through. And that also comes through in marketing is, you launch something and then it's like a week later you're like, well, that doesn't work, and then you're switching gears again.
Like I wish we could say there's a magic pill, but there isn't. So we're about to do the worst marketing ever, which is truth. Right? Sean and I aren't here to bullshit you and say, oh, just do this program and it'll magically show up. Those individuals that have come through our program, that worst case scenario of 40,000 and that best to that 180, 190,000, is because they showed up, they did the work, they did all these pieces, and it was never glamorous. It was tough and it was difficult. Right? So was understanding that you got to show up and do the work, and that it does take that time. It really takes that time. So when you go through a program, it takes at least a year for things to start going through, because you as an automation expert and a system expert, you know that you never get it right out of the gate. You have to test, you have to see what's coming through, how the client feels comfortable saying things and doing things, right? It's never quick. It's never quick, right? Yeah. I think discipline is that part that I have on the bottom, is what shows up on the days motivation doesn't. And I think that's, again, another thing that we misunderstand is they think habits come from discipline, and it doesn't. It comes from frequency. So there's not a 28 days to whatever. We're human beings. We have different factors in our lives and all that kind of stuff that we don't account for. Sorry. So you have to just understand is there's a certain amount of frequency that has to show up. As you and I were texting back and forth of, I don't know how regular 9-to-5 people can, actually work and get everything done, right? Get everything done. Because with us being entrepreneurs, we can go and do things like we rescued another turtle. So like 2 turtle rescues, my dog, your dog had a problem. My mother-in-law fell. Like there's all this stuff that happens. And so when you are going through a plan, when you are going through a coaching, and when you are building automation and systems and you're working with humans, know that AI will never be able to correct the human element.
No.
Amen for that, right? Yep.
Yeah, and if you've got a shaky foundation or no system or whatever, when you have to step away from
Mhm.
that and come back into it, it's harder to get back into it, right?
So
Because you don't know what you're like, you don't have that foundation to come back into,
yeah.
right? So doing this proper allows you to have that non-traditional type of work day that things kind of go astray pretty
Yeah.
quick sometimes.
Yep, it does. It's like boom, right? Just like that. And it's very funny. Like I took a couple of months off this winter, and it's that part of I was able to come back, pick it up right away because I had everything planned out. I was able
Mhm.
to just sometimes you have to stop and just read through, going okay, let your memory get jarred a little bit, and you understand where you are and where you're going. And it's so important. It's so important. Okay. So putting this all together, there's just kind of the yes or no on the first week, making a bit of a switch in the conversation that you have with yourself, and then curating your environment. Because I think this last step is that part that so many of us don't consider. Yes or no? So, running your week, I do this every evening, and it takes about 20 minutes, and I sit in my favorite spot. So, it's that whole part of taking this whole documentation of noticing your daily habits, good or bad, don't care. But what do you do on a daily basis, repeatable? So when you're doing this, it's what is your noticed habit, time of day it comes up all the time, environment or place, right? And what led up to it. So environment and place is where you work, because sometimes places trigger things,
Mhm.
right? Trying to quit smoking, go to a party, you're going to go outside and smoke, right? Like it's that whole part of just really understanding what led up to everything. So just noticing a pattern, that's all the first week is about, right?
Mhm.
And then that question at the end, and I like this, and I'd love your understanding or your thoughts on this. So if you tracked your habits for a week, and then at the end of the day 7, you stopped there and looked at the yes or no's that you put there, and you ask that question of, does this move me towards the business I want to continually build? And does this move me towards the person and the leader I know I am? How does that sit with you?
I think that's powerful. I mean, that's when I work with clients and we're looking at tasks and things that they're doing, it's can you automate, delegate, or eliminate those tasks in there because it's taking up time, and that's where I'm focusing is what the amount of time things are taking in there, and really it comes down to what are the things that are actually generating revenue for
Right.
you and your business that need your attention. You don't really want to, need to, or have to delegate it to someone else or automate it, that your time is best served in that role. And that's the same with this.
Yeah. I love that. What did you say? Automate, delegate, or
Delegate, automate, or eliminate.
right? It's so important to be able to recognize these things in these pieces. Because
Mhm.
sometimes we also make knee-jerk reactions because one day we think it doesn't fit because we haven't seen the whole entire picture. So when you look at the habits or how you show up, it gives you so much information too of what do you really love to do and what do you loathe doing, right? Because that is a big tell of if you keep going back to this habit and you really love doing it, okay, where does it belong? How does it belong? And how do you enter this into your day or your system? If it's something that you continually do and you're ashamed of or you don't like doing, take a look at the situation behind it. Where is it happening? What led up to it? Why did you do that?
Mhm.
It's having that whole part about none of this is putting a verdict on yourself or a judgment. It's all just about giving yourself an opportunity to pause and look at patterns. And that's how you create an experience. So that's how you become from just a regular business owner to someone who creates an experience. And that's what everyone's looking for, right? It's
Mhm.
huge. Sorry, the air conditioning went on here this morning, and you've been in my office, so you know how hot it gets with the big windows. I'm going, whoo, I'm melted. I can't even wear my glasses because they're like sliding down my nose.
Should have Michael off camera with a fan.
Right? Fanning me. Oh, I've got enough plants and stuff that I could cut apart and make a pampas fan. But anyways, okay, week 2, you're gonna make the switch. So you're tracking your habits. and you continually track your habits through this whole entire throughout the year. Don't ever drop this if you can. But for every habit you mark no now, replace it with what the opposite unlocks, right? So this formula is really, really simple and it's extremely powerful. So when I put all this together, and I've been testing it for the last 6 years, I took a lot of my favorite authors or the favorite individuals that I like, or extracted pieces from some of those books that have a really good nugget and could probably only be 20 pages long, but instead they're like 287, right? Just to get to that one piece. So I did you the favor and I endured a whole lot of horrible authoring and a whole lot of wonderful pieces, and taking and extracting those pieces that actually help the behavior and the mind move forward. So we've recognized it. And so when we now look at the no habits, it's not giving ourselves shame, right? It's the turning it and flipping it to, by not doing this, by not getting up early at first thing in the morning and grabbing my cell phone, I get to meditate, which moves me towards whatever you want to be.
Mm-hmm.
So when you start doing affirmations in that way, it's that whole part that starts to help your mind switch and go. So it's not that whole part of saying anything negative or shaming yourself. This is the recognizing by not doing something, this is the positive outcome. How does that feel?
I love it. I mean, I know that there are many things I do that I could not be doing. That whole thing of the phone. I mean, that was the main example, because then your
Oh,
mind shifts right into problem solving mode. At
right.
least for me, because you never really open your inbox in the morning and everything's just like, hey, nothing's gone wrong. There's no fires to put out.
Everything's
Right.
amazing.
That's right. um, right. So then it's like, how do you be present? Because, you start your day right, and you can start to think more about yourself, right? Thinking inward, and that, and a healthy start, and all that. And for me, it's spending long time sitting through the day. It's just making myself aware to get up and move around, and that type of thing helps me
Yeah,
as well, right?
yeah, yeah. It's such an important part of these little simple but not easy things, right?
Hmm.
That really move the mark. So again, it's not this big long convoluted book or whatever, or this big huge long process and adding all these layers on. It's a little piece that feeds into the next, and it's the end of one goal that is the beginning of the next. So it's really interesting seeing all these pieces of when you are doing a part of I get to, which moves
Hmm.
you towards that goal and gives you the focus, right? Follow one course until successful.
Hmm.
That helps so much. And there's an activity that I love doing. And I used to do it when I coached dragon boating. But I also do it with advisors and business owners that I work with. And it's one of the greatest exercises to remind you of, if you don't focus on the thing that you are moving towards, there are all these distractions that will take you off course. So, after you're done listening to this live, and I'd love you to do it too, Sean, is
Hmm.
that whole part of find a big space, focus on something. So, go outside, focus on one tree, and just look at that tree and walk towards it. You'll walk right towards the tree. Then go back, reset yourself, and start, and look away somewhere else off to the side. But you still want to walk towards that tree. What's going to happen?
You're not going to go towards the tree,
Right? Right?
right?
It's a simple little reset and a reminder of why you have to do this. So, me not scrolling through my phone, nothing is taking me off my course or distracting me, because I'm just like you. I want to help, or I want to fix, or shocking, I have an opinion, right? And I get pulled off of course,
Hmm.
right? It's
Yeah.
such a big piece.
It's the
Such a big,
same, like even back, like when I was 16 taking driver's education, it still
right?
sticks to me this day, is like where you're looking is where the car is going to go, right?
Always. Always.
And I have a good friend who's a motivational speaker, and a line he always says is, um, the energy flows where the attention goes, right?
Yeah.
And that phrase sticks with me, right?
Yeah.
That's
It's a big
powerful.
one.
And when you look at changing, when you do this initial thing of like, here's who I want, who I want to become, because that's authentically who I am, and where I want to be, and I identify all these things and habits I need to change. If you try to change them all, right, it's very hard,
Yeah.
and you're actually going to probably fail at that, where it's one thing, and that comes across in everything. When we look at, if you watch anybody that coaches somebody on a golf swing, they're not like, here, change these 5 things. It's try one little adjustment, get
Right?
that down, and then we'll adjust something else, right? And in the end, you become better at that sport.
Yeah.
When we're doing any type of ads, people tend to be like, this ad isn't working, so we are going to change the whole thing.
Yeah.
When we technically just need to change one thing and see how does that change the result.
Yeah.
Because if you change multiple things, and it does work or it gets worse, you don't know what of those 3, 4, 5 things
Yeah.
cause that end result, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's again that part of people that come join our cohort or go through Enriched or work with us.
Mm-hmm.
You get to have that conversation of what is the thing that needs to change, right? Because again, strategic or critical thinking does not happen through AI at all, or any of these pieces. It comes through all these conversations of how do you make a little switch? What is a time, place, and space, right? What are those things that you really need to look at to be able to see what's happening? And sometimes it's that curating that environment you're in. So the work from home world is holy hell awful for me. Right? So I changed work from home to work from habit. I have to have an office. I have to go do things. So if you are working from home, I make a lot of clients, I'm like, go and get a coffee in the morning. Get out of your house, get dressed, go get a coffee like you're commuting to work and come back.
Mm-hmm.
It's this really interesting thing that starts to happen. So when we're looking at this whole, focus program that you're going through, looking at time, place, and space and what you do and where your environment is so, so important. So when you start putting this language layer now on top of it is I choose to, or by not, I get to, and that choice moves me towards. So that other part of I choose to go out in the morning and get a coffee and start my day means I get to get out of the house, and it's that whole windshield time. It's that thinking time. It's going down to that stat of only 16% of your problems are solved while you are at work. The other 84% happen when you're commuting, when you're in the shower, all those things. So you see how this all feeds. There's so much that these simple little things feed into. So instead of doing the I have to, so when you're told I have to do something, there's resistance. Like try and tell an Aries named Kimberly Dawn Skirmer that you have to do something. Good luck, right? So when there's a choice of I have to versus I choose to or I get to, it creates ownership on that whole entire part and that experience, right? Again, simple reframe of language and looking at your environment that you're in. What do you think about that one? I'm going to pause.
I mean, I have done that before. Like the days where I take the kids to school in the morning and get a coffee and come back feels completely different than the days I just walk down the steps to the basement to my home office. And I used to live in a place where I had a building on my property that was my home office, and I would actually have to leave the house and walk to it. And it was a different type of experience. And if you don't have that privilege, maybe there's, this may seem a little weird. Maybe it's just like you go out and you come back in through a different door in the house, right? And that's the door you're going to work in, right? If you need that, and even if you're like, this is kind of like, whoo, like hooey wooey type stuff, like just try it and see, right? And when you leave that time, you go at that door and you know, obviously if it's not pouring rain or snowing a blizzard, but the idea is you get to go outside and come back in. Right. It's that it's almost like a reset that happens.
It is a pattern interruption, a reset.
Yeah. If you're creating content, the same type of thing, like when you get so into something, you need to walk away from it to come back to it. Right. When I used to do a lot of video editing, I'd spend hours in that editing process, and I would just be like, okay, it's version 1's done. And I would not watch it back till the next day. Because you just need to look at it differently and step away from it.
You too, right? So that environmental cues, how you create that environment, and creating that environment is also including leaving it,
Hmm.
right? It surely is. It's go walk in nature, go do something. Like, my goodness, we sit there and we work so hard on so many different things, and we think we need to just hammer through it, just grind through it. The word hustle, I can't stand it because I know how damaging
Hmm.
that mindset and that language is, right? You can only, I guess I'll go through my acronym of create later on, or calm, sorry, later on. But in the beginning, when you create a business, that's different energy than later on, right? Because
Hmm.
you're grinding and grinding away and it's not sustainable. You will forever be stuck in this powerful imagination, things aren't good enough, right?
Hmm.
World. And you get scattered. So knowing and understanding that there are different behavioral and evolutional phases that you go through, which is so important, right?
Hmm. And one thing that is kind of connected to this that you do very well with the
Mhm.
clients is when you're creating something for them, instead of just like sending it to them to read, you we get on a call and you're reading the content to them, so they're hearing it through someone else's voice, and that is so powerful to hear something that way. We have clients that will write, they'll write emails and then they'll read them themselves, but they're hearing it in the way that they intended, they thought that they wanted it to be perceived. But even using the tools to just audibly play back text that's written, right? That's an opportunity to step away from something momentarily and hear it and be like, okay, now I'm hearing it in a different voice. Is
Yeah.
this how I intended this to be?
Yeah.
Right? There's a huge power behind the world we're in, and just that ability to unplug something, right? And
Yep.
that's whether unplugging it from your chair, from your office, from something you've created. uh, there's power in that disconnect and reconnect.
Resets any system. Call the tech line, and it's like,
Have you tried rebooting, right?
right. So I hate that so much, but it's so true. It works almost 99% of the time.
And if that
It's
doesn't work, hit it.
right. Hit it. One day I'll tell you the story of me throwing my laptop and having it stick in the wall. It was a good one.
Oh, nice.
It was a good one. But that part where you were talking about with that, how I choose to deliver content and format to clients, right?
Mhm.
It is that I record it for them. I don't just hand them a document, right? I record it. And it just depends on how someone best learns. Because I think that is so important of, okay, Sean, how do you best learn? Is it video? Is
Mhm.
it, going and actually being in it and taking action and being part of it? Right? Or do you read the best? And most of the time, people will say, I learn best when I go through it. Right? So you've been
Mhm.
with me many times. We jump on a call and a Zoom, they read it, I read it, you read it, ownership becomes so much different, right? It's so good. So this whole part about the parts that move and protect your focus, state it, share it, pause it, track it, build it, block it. And I've written this out so many different times and in different infographics and stuff like that. But when you say no wisely, right? There's nothing worse than a no client and a bad client, but it's also that part of when you say no to something, you also are saying yes to something else. So know what
Mhm.
it is, right? Sharing it. No one's self made. I can't tell you how many brilliant ideas I have received from working with you, with Derek, with so many people, with Dustin, because we're just talking about something and we're sharing it and going through it, saying, okay, what do you think? What am I missing? Right?
Mhm.
The pausing it. So this is that part that I talk about all the time. 16% of your critical thinking happens while you're at your desk. That's it. That's it. So pause it, go do something. Track it. Knowledge gives control. So not sure where your time goes, measure it and manage it. And I like managing my energy, not my time. So you are a systems guy that helps with time. And I look at that, the wooey side, and looking at, the energy side of, okay, why aren't you getting this done? Should this be on your desk, right? Do you
Mhm.
love doing it? Do you love doing it, right? There's all those pieces, but You have to track it. It's like us building this program for 6 years. We've tracked everything and we're going to continue to track. So why did this group only make 40,000 year over year? Why did this group only do 180,000? Why did the ones knock it right out of the park doing 11.3 million? You have to track your metrics. You have to, right? So build it. So you create a movement. So lead by building it, but by asking them to build it with you. So it's not just, I'm going to do this. Ask someone to do it with you. And this is that whole part about the power of feedback, right? And asking for trust, and then block it. I block time. I block time so much. I assign something to someone else. I try to align alongside, and I achieve my goals a lot faster when I actually block my time. And it's hard. It's the biggest part I had to learn. I even had a client just saying, "Hey, I can't see you. You don't have time available until the 16th of June. Can you sneak me in?" No, I could. Old Kim would have said, "Okay, I can meet you at 7:30." Right?
And in
But
most cases, they don't have an issue with that
no.
when you're like, okay, well, I'll just pick time on the 16th or 7th, whenever,
Yeah.
anything like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes people are just asking of, "Hey, do you have extra time?" Right? They're not being, it's a mindset thing, right? They're not being jerks or greedy or stuff like that. They just, "Hey, do you have some extra time?" But it's that really important part about holding on to it, right? So I think this will stay in every one of our lives on Mondays now, because this is that part of we're helping everyone go through, is that leaders build systems that outlast speed. And I want to come back to this all the time now, because AI has made us quicker and faster. You can create something in 2.5 seconds, which is great. But is it your voice? Is it your language? Will this do what you want it to do? How are you tracking it? How are you measuring it? Who are you building it with? Right? Going back to these slides, right? So looking at this whole part, and why I love this so much with you, and why I collaborate so well with you, is that whole part about outlasting speed. And it's a really strong focused mindset that you have to have of, I'm now a thoroughbred. I'm a racing horse, and the blinders are on, and this is where I'm going. And it's kind of nice to work with someone along with, I'm in my 50s now. I'm not ashamed or shy to say, "Hey, come back over here," kind of thing. I'm not scared of that at all, because we do have to do that a lot, don't we?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I was working on a project this morning, and I do use AI tools for the technical things that are there. And as I was doing it, I'm like, I can see how many people would just get mediocre results or bad results because they would just utilize the tool and just give it minimal input.
Mhm.
Um, but I spent like a half an hour giving it a ton of detail and
Yeah.
research documents on this project and everything, voice stuff that I'd done the big work beforehand. And what it allowed it to do was output exactly what I needed
Yeah.
the first go round, right?
Yeah.
So it's because the system spent the time to build that system to then feed into that, right?
Yeah. It's huge. It's really
Mhm.
big. It's knowing that whole type and that whole part of, you're building the business and you're building a human. And when you do that, you become an entrepreneur.
Mhm.
It's the best way I can say it, right? So businesses just run along, marginal profit, all that kind of stuff. But when you build the human beside and behind the business, you actually become an entrepreneur. And things become incredible. Absolutely incredible. And it's, hubby was asking me the other day on the drive in of, would you ever do this again? Because we're 6 years in, and I'm going, yes, I would. And it's funny, some entrepreneurs say, no, I wouldn't. I definitely would, because of the person I have become, the people lives I've changed, all of that kind of stuff. So I want to just pull up these 4 questions, and I'm going to go through them quickly, but I want everyone to always think about this and come back to it, because this is that whole part of how you answer that focus document, how you build your business, how you show up, and how you go through that behavioral evolution of the finding the calm. So looking at this, and again, of who are you before what you do? And strip away the titles, strip away all the awards, strip away all those pieces that are facades. that you can hide behind, right?
Hmm.
What experience shaped how you see the world? This is the challenges, not the good stuff. This is the challenges. How did you overcome? And one of the greatest questions I ever ask people when someone says, how do you know if someone is coachable or not? I will ask you saying, Sean, tell me about something that went completely off the rails and was an absolute nightmare. And if you answer saying, okay, there was a situation and this person and that person and this person was responsible and they suck and blah, 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 and they helped my case fail, right? I went and got this coach and this coach is horrible and it was a waste of money. You're not coachable.
Hmm.
But if you answer me saying, I didn't show up all the time, I didn't ask questions, I didn't challenge her or him, you're coachable.
Hmm.
Coachable, right? Where does your identity end and performance begin? We will always perform, definitely always perform, but just knowing who you are as a person, right? It's very funny. Even our friend Derek, I put this one thing up and I just said poets don't run companies or run companies. And he was right. Like, so he didn't watch, I don't think he watched the video. He said that, but not this poet, because he's a poet, right?
Hmm.
That's an identity thing, right? It's an identity thing. He identifies as a poet because he is, but there are parts of yourself that are needed to run this company, to take you from a business owner to an entrepreneur, right? What do you think your superpower is, by the way?
Uh Mine. I think it's being able to explain complexity simply,
Mm,
right? So that's just looking at, like, because I'm in a tech world. Do
yeah.
I consider myself like a developer and a programmer and all that? No, I don't. But I have put the time in to understand all the tech stuff that clients don't want to,
Yeah.
shouldn't have to, and I'm able to understand what it is they're trying to get from an experience. Coming back to the beginning of that slide with the watermelon,
Yeah.
right? Because you're building that experience. So, what experience are you trying to create? What experience are you trying to have for yourself in your business?
Yeah.
And then bringing the technology part in to deliver that,
Right.
right? And that's when working with clients and they're like, well, what about this technology? I'm like, explain to me what that
Mm,
experience is supposed to be for you. Like, what are you looking for? What are you looking to feel, see, hear? Like tell me that part of it. Don't try to explain what the tech part of it is, right?
your curiosity is your superpower, from what I see.
Mhm.
You are incredibly inquisitive and curious. And you're always like, hey, I tried this new thing or that new thing, or I get an email from you and there's a new tracker. I'm going, okay, what's this one now? How's Sean AIing me today? But it's this really interesting part about your curiosity, and that curiosity that you have, that superpower that you have, makes you so incredible at the systems and the automation, and to stop and pause and ask those questions of, okay, what are you using this for? Right?
Mhm.
I trust you with all my heart and my clients and my name and my reputation because you're that curious person. It's a really strong piece, right?
Mhm.
So it's that whole part again about what is your superpower, and don't undervalue it at all. Always walk through the room and through the door with that. So your curiosity, I think you naturally do that now.
100%.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Yeah. I love it. I love it. So before the brand, the blueprint, there is you and all that part. And we're going to talk about the calm a lot. And I just want to keep going through the sequence of, there is a behavioral evolution of a human being as we grow up. And that is that whole part of the behavioral evolution through a business. And that's kind of where where you grow through, or where you've grown from. So knowing that you create, align, lead, and mastery is that whole part of building that human being through the business of a business owner to an entrepreneur. You know that all these pieces do have to show up within a certain time, and putting it in its place and calling it to the table when needed. Because sometimes you need to perform, sometimes you need to use your superpower, sometimes you need to do these things. So we talk about, when you're business owner, you're the chief cook and bottle washer. It's
Mhm.
true. It's really true. But are you utilizing it? Are you focusing it? Or is it actually what you need to do at that moment in time? That's that question and that sequence that you have to look at, right? Like, I
Mhm.
love this acronym so much. It's probably one of the best things I ever made. I really do, because it's this funny thing of, how do I say this? There are so many programs and there are so many pieces and tools and books and everything out there. And they're just little fractional pieces. And so when I mean you don't need more discipline, that motivation kind of it stops in the way, or when we're looking at patterns, or when we're looking at all of these things, how it all encompasses, and looking at that sequence, that is that sequential evolution. Like, this is it. This really is it.
Mhm.
It's huge. It's huge. That's it for us today. I like this one. I like it. It is a really powerful piece. What's your one takeaway from today?
Oh, I think my biggest one is, again, looking at the yes and no stood out to me. The
Mm,
biggest one. I think anyone watching this,
yeah.
um, that's probably something, right? You're probably sitting there going, "Oh yeah, I can think of 2 or 3 things that I'm doing that are taken away from stuff, but I'm aware that they're there, but I just haven't done anything about it."
Yeah. 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 It's quite large in that remembering of whatever you say yes to, what are you saying no to, or vice versa.
Mhm,
Right. There's so much time, and that's how we manage our energy, not our time, by looking at, okay, where are we dedicating and allocating that towards? And
mhm,
my biggest one, that whenever I go through this or present this, it's the I have to versus I choose to.
mhm.
There's something really empowering to me every time I go through this, and it's a reminder. And it was even, I was as tired as it's been a long couple of weeks, right? Long couple of weeks, and I've got lots of work to catch up with and get done, and things to do. And I choose to be here. I could go take a corporate job any day and all that kind of stuff. I know that. But I choose to be here, and I choose to show up with you, and I choose to show up with individuals. So
Mhm,
it's that part of being intentional with everyone I create to, or talk to, or connect with. It's my choice.
mhm.
It helps
And
me focus.
one thing that I wanna make sure that people don't think we're saying is,
Mm.
in that when you say no to something, say yes to something else, is if you're doing something that isn't needed, and let's say it takes a half hour just for this example, and you're like, not going to do this anymore. That doesn't mean you have to fill that half hour with something else.
Right?
Just the ability of having that 30 minutes of nothingness is saying yes to something,
You.
right? It's to you. So it's not like got rid of this task. Now I need to fill that time
Yeah.
with something else,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. It's such an important part. Again, that going for walks and going back to that even that whole entire, we're going to go get car sick here, motion sick, but this whole slide, right? When really understanding these 6 fundamental pieces that protect your focus,
Hmm.
like, this is such a powerful piece, and I can put a copy of this in the follow up. But we really need to look at it and pause and understand that this is the part between being a business owner and entrepreneur. And entrepreneurs are the ones that outlast, right? Because you see everything. Business owners see problems, entrepreneurs see solutions. And with that, of seeing a problem versus seeing solutions, a whole entire mindset switch and a whole entire capacity load,
Hmm.
right? It's a different mental state. So that's why I do mindset versus mind settled. So there's a certain mindset that happens with business owners, and they quote things all the time and stuff like that. But mind settled, they know who they are, they know where they're going, they know what they get to choose to do, and they protect that.
Hmm.
It's incredible, right? It's
Yeah. And I
absolutely
think those entrepreneurs also see potential
right.
that's in there.
It's a good word, right? They see potential in things, and that's that whole part about, you see a solution, like, this is something really cool we can do, right?
Mhm.
Yep. Yep. Okay, that's it for us today. I enjoyed this as always. You are my favorite Monday.
I just found the comments side of this streaming system, and
Oh, there's comments
Paula
on you.
from YouTube said she liked this video too.
Oh, thank you, Paula. We miss you. Come visit me, Paula. She lives really close to me. She's very close to me. She's going to come park her little butt. I'm going to say it on the live. She's going to come park her little butt in my office once a week and do some awesome things. Okay, that's it. Thank you so much for everything as always. Love ya. Have a good day.
Till next week.
Yay. Okay.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.